In autumn 2023, Minh Nhi, a psychology student, arrives at a remote village in Hoa Bien Nguyen to study for her exams. The picturesque scenery hides a terrifying secret. Eerie cries in the night, a cryptic warning note, and her boyfriend's strange behavior spark Nhi's suspicions. As the truth about a sinister criminal network unravels, she's thrust into a life-or-death struggle. Can Nhi escape the curse under the moonlight? Tune in to uncover this chilling, twist-filled tale. In the autumn of 2023, Hanoi's weather turned cool, with gentle breezes weaving through the city streets. I, Nguyen Thao Minh Nhi, a final-year psychology student at the National University of Hanoi, was buried in preparation for my postgraduate entrance exams. After a long day hunched over thick stacks of study materials in the library, I dragged myself back to my dorm room at MD Trine. Clutching my laptop, my shoulders weighed down by a heavy backpack. As I pushed open the dorm room door, the familiar smell of instant noodles mixed with cheap perfume hit my nose. My roommates were huddled on a bed, whispering excitedly about something. Before I could even set my things down, I jumped in, curiosity piqued. What's got you all so worked up? Some juicy drama? Spill it to your big sis. Trần Thị Linh, my roommate who slept in the bed next to mine, pushed up her thick glasses and sighed with a mix of regret and worry. My high school friend, the beauty queen Thanh Na from the next room. Her best friend went missing while trekking with a group in Ba Vienne. No one's seen her alive or dead. The internet's buzzing, and Thanh Na's in her room crying her eyes out. It's heartbreaking. What? What happened? Is this for real? My heart skipped a beat. It wasn't just curiosity, something about the story unsettled me deeply. I was also planning a trip to a remote place, and a vague sense of unease crept over me, like a whisper warning of something ominous. I was in the final stretch of exam prep, my mind stretched taut like a guitar string. Desperate for a quiet place to focus, far from the city's noise, my boyfriend, Trong Vinay Chai, a former student of the National Economics University now trying his hand at entrepreneurship, suggested I stay at his family's home in Siem Lang Langan District, Hoa Bien Nguyen Province. Thai described his hometown as a small village nestled in a valley, surrounded by lush tea hills and endless pine forests. His parents and siblings had all moved to Hanoi or Saigon for work, leaving the house empty. Most villagers had also left for the city, with only a few elderly households remaining. During the day, the village was so quiet you could hardly hear a rooster crow or a dog bark. To Thai, it was the perfect paradise for me to focus on studying. At first, I hesitated. As a psychology student, I'm naturally sensitive and wary of unfamiliar places. But when Thai sent me photos of his village via Zalo, I changed my mind. The images were like a watercolor painting, rolling hills, a babbling brook flowing under a bamboo bridge, and red-tiled roofs peeking through the morning mist. The village looked like an untouched tourist destination, breathtakingly beautiful. With a mix of study and adventure in mind, I agreed to go. But after Lin's story about the missing trekker, that uneasy feeling returned, like a cold wind brushing my spine. I tried to shake it off, but it lingered. Lin pouted, her voice tinged with regret and reproach. They say she met a group of trekkers online and was careful, even bringing a few other girls for safety. But in the end, only one came back. The others vanished. The Ba Vienne rescue team searched for a week and gave up. Online, people are saying it's more bad news than good. Honestly, guy or girl, don't be reckless and go to strange places. You're just asking for trouble, and sometimes you drag others into it. These days, who can you really trust? Nguyen Thao, my other roommate, chimed in before grabbing her bag and heading to the canteen, probably for bubble tea. I didn't respond, quietly sitting at my desk and reaching for my phone to tell Thai I wasn't going. But before I could type, he messaged first. Bought the bus tickets from Mi Wai Han to Lang San already. The house in the village is cleaned up by my cousin, ready for you to move in. Don't worry, I've got everything covered. His thoughtfulness made me hesitant to cancel, so I deleted my draft and replied simply, okay, thanks. 3 days later, Thai and I boarded a bus for Mi Wai Han. Hanoi was overcast that day, dark clouds signaling an impending rain. The bus rattled along Highway 6, winding through the twisting roads to Hoa Binh. While Tai stepped away to use the restroom, I impulsively texted Lin, telling her about the trip and sharing details about Tai. Tai, 2 years out of university, was running a small, struggling e-commerce startup. He always asked me not to tell my friends about him, saying he'd go public with our relationship once his career stabilized. I didn't think much of it and never mentioned him to my dorm mates. But that day, an inexplicable unease gnawed at me. I sent Lin everything: Tai's name, hometown, ID number, and even his village address in Lang Sen. After sending the message, I felt a weight lift, as if I'd shed a burden. Lin replied, half exasperated, half worried. "Why are you going so far? Be careful in such a remote place. I'm not okay with this." She insisted I text her every evening at 6 p.m. to confirm I was safe. If I missed 2 days in a row, she'd alert the Lang Sen police. Her promise reassured me. I told myself it was just a few days of studying what could go wrong. The journey from Hanoi to Tai's village in Cam Lang took nearly 4 hours. By the time we got off the bus in Lang Sen town, dusk had settled, and the air carried the crisp scent of pine and red earth. Tai's village was as stunning as he'd described, if not more so. The deeper we went, the more enchanting it became. Endless green tea hills, a shimmering brook reflecting the sunset, and red-tiled roofs nestled against the hills. The silence was profound, broken only by the whisper of wind through the pines and occasional birdsong. We switched from the bus to a motorbike taxi, then walked along winding red dirt paths flanked by bamboo groves. Finally, we reached Tai's village, tucked in a small valley surrounded by Ba Vian Mountain and fragrant rice fields. Tai's house was a traditional 3-room tiled home, perched halfway up a hill overlooking the valley. The front yard was paved with green stone, immaculately clean. The creaky but sturdy bamboo gate led to a trellis of climbing gourds, their fruits dangling like tiny bells. As we entered the village, I was captivated by the scenery. The air was fresh, scented with earth and ripe rice. I stood entranced, breathing deeply, feeling the exam stress melt away. But as I soaked in the beauty, something flew toward me. Before I could react, a string of firecrackers exploded at my feet. Pop! Pop! Like wedding fireworks, startling me out of my wits. Before I could recover, a tall, lanky man in filthy clothes clapped and laughed idiotically, singing a strange folk tune. Light the firecrackers, welcome the bride as beautiful as a flower, the village beauty all the men desire. Light the firecrackers, welcome the bride. The song echoed in the quiet village, familiar yet eerie, like a mountain folk tune with unsettling lyrics. I frowned, staring at the man who seemed mentally unstable.
He was tall, his clothes reeking, his face smudged with dirt, his hair covering half his face,
making it hard to see his features. From his build, I guessed he was in his early 20s. Trung, what are you doing? This is my girlfriend. You scared her. Go home. Tai stepped forward, kicking the man in the backside, his voice irritated. As the man turned away, I noticed his pants had 2 large holes, exposing his buttocks. He didn't care, still clapping and singing that eerie song as he disappeared into the evening mist. Is he not right in the head? Still shaken, I grabbed Tai's hand, my voice trembling. Yeah. They say he had a mental breakdown. 6 months ago, he was the pride of this village, Tai replied, his tone tinged with regret. What? Really? I was skeptical, unable to believe someone like that had ever been notable. Hard to believe, right? But he was the only one from Lang Sen district to get into the People's Police Academy. Back then, Vietnam television even came to interview him. The whole village was proud. But he was foolish, got involved in a relationship at school, got his girlfriend pregnant. Instead of taking her to a proper hospital, he tricked her into going to a shady clinic in Hanoi's outskirts, nearly killing her. Her family caused a scene at the academy, and he was expelled. Back in the village, he couldn't handle the shame and went mad. Been like that for over 6 months. Tai's voice was flat, as if recounting a stranger's story. Wow, what a shame. Such a bright future ruined. I felt pity for the man, understanding why he sang that strange song, perhaps. In his madness, he was haunted by his failed romance. The incident soured my mood, and I followed Tai home, no longer interested in the scenery. Tai's house was a traditional 3-room tiled home with a mossy red roof, whitewashed walls, and solid wooden doors. The central room held an ancestral altar, meticulously cleaned with incense smoke curling upward. The side rooms were bedrooms, and a separate wing served as the kitchen and storage. The wide front yard, paved with green stone, was shaded by an ancient banyan tree. Tai pointed to the side wing. That's my parents' room, and behind it is my sister Thursday Thee's. My room's in the middle, next to the small living room. You'll sleep in my room. I'll take the living room. If you're scared, I don't mind guarding you 24/7s. He grinned mischievously, his eyes twinkling. I shot him a playful glare. Dream on. I can handle myself. That evening, we ate at his cousin's house nearby. The meal was quintessentially rural: grilled free-range chicken, stir-fried bamboo shoots, water spinach soup, and a fiery fish sauce dip. Everyone chatted lively, but I ate sparingly, my mind stuck on the firecrackers and Trung's eerie song. Back at the house, I studied at my desk until midnight. As I got up to wash my face, a woman's blood-curdling cry pierced the village's silence. It was brief, just a single ooh before cutting off as if stifled. My heart pounded. I stepped onto the porch, straining to hear more, but there was only the wind whistling through the pines and the chirping of insects. The village felt eerily still, like it